Good evening and welcome to KiniNews. I know many of you tuned into the special parliament sitting today, excited to see democracy at work. But also, I've got a few messages from people asking me if parliament is always like a pasar malam. Yes, and now speaking of pasar malam, that's how the opposition leader views the removal of the emergency ordinances.
The Perikatan National Government, through its Law Minister Takiyuddin Hassan, casually revealed in Parliament today that all emergency ordinances have been cancelled by Putrajaya.
Please listen to me. Kerajaan telah buat keputusan berdasarkan kepada perkara 1503 untuk membatalkan semua ordinan darurat yang telah dibuat semasa proklamasi darurat ini. Oleh kerana telah di-revoke, maka isu ungkai ataupun annulment sudah tidak lagi relevan.
Kita sudah berjaya.
Terima kasih.
This obviously caused an uproar, leaving opposition MPs with many questions. For instance, when the ordinances were revoked and through what mechanisms.
Apa ini?
Terima kasih. Kenapa tidak dibagi tahu lebih awal?
No, cannot. This is wrong. Semua ordinan darurat dengan izin Tuan Yang Di-Pertua, tadi saya tak sebut, semua ordinan darurat, sebanyak 6 ordinan darurat yang dibuat telah diputuskan untuk di-revoke berkuat kuasa 21 hari bulan 7 tahun 2021, bukan hari ini.
This means all emergency ordinances can no longer be applied. However, MPs argued that the revocation was unconstitutional because Article 150(3) required all the ordinances to be tabled before both houses of Parliament and, unless revoked earlier, can be annulled by Parliament if it wishes to do so. As of noon today, no new gazette was issued on the Attorney General's Chamber's website on the annulment of the ordinances. The Perikatan National Government may have also potentially saved itself from losing a vote without having to vote on the emergency ordinances, especially with many of its MPs being absent today. Based on footages of Dewan Rakyat proceedings and eyewitness accounts, those not in their seats during the start of the proceedings today were Ahmad Zaid Hamidi, PN Bagandato, Zuraida Kamarudin, PN Ampang, Muslimin Yahya, PN Sungai Besar, Muhammad Khairuddin Aman Razali, PN Kuala Nerus, Rizal Marikan Naina Marikan, BN Kepala Batas, Mansur Uthman, PN Nimbong Tebal, Mukris Mahathir, Pejuang Jerlun, and Chow Kon Yeo, Harapan Tanjong.
Those of you who tuned in to watch the parliament sitting, you may have been slightly confused when it sounded like a market or a school during recess time. But don't worry, that's actually normal. Something not so normal, however, is, according to Anwar Ibrahim, how the Perikatan National Government removed the emergency ordinances.
The Perikatan National Government has been accused of not following the procedure in removing the emergency ordinances. This is how opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim described the move when addressing Parliament.
Pengurusi sedia maklum tentang proses parlimen ini. Dia tak boleh buat umpamanya hari ini kita umumkan kita isytiharkan darurat. Dan datang sesi lagi kita dah batalkan minggu lalu. Ini pasar malam ke? Tidak boleh.
Anwar also explained that the emergency ordinances which were promulgated through the young di-Pertuan Agong should also be revoked through His Majesty or through Parliament.
Saya nak lihat kertas pembentangan kelulusan. Dan kalau ini tidak dilakukan dan dianggap ini suara Ketua Pembangkang, sudah silap besar. Saya nak pertahankan semangat perlembagaan. Saya nak pertahankan semangat raja perlembagaan. Dan supaya jangan krisis ini berpanjangan kerana parahnya itu rakyat Malaysia. Dan kerajaan dalam konteks apa yang berlaku hari ini tidak mungkin dapat mentadbir cara baik dan tersusun kalau prinsip ini tidak dipatuhi.
Before we proceed with our next story, we need some help, because Malaysia needs a free press now more than ever before. But being an independent news organization that keeps those up there in power in check can be, well, costly in more ways than one. So do click on the link in the description below to find out how you can contribute. And now on to our next story. Hundreds of doctors walked out of government hospitals nationwide.
Hundreds of government contract doctors at more than a dozen hospitals nationwide carried out mass walkouts this morning. Their objective is to demand job security and better career opportunities. The protest took place despite their superiors threatening to take disciplinary action against participants of the Hartal doctor contract protest. Clad in black and carrying posters, the participants started leaving their respective health facilities in unison at 11 a.m. Malaysia Kini estimated that there were nearly 100 participants at the Sungai Buloh Hospital, 50 at Kuala Lumpur Hospital and around 30 at Shah Alam Hospital. At the Putrajaya Hospital, prominent Dr. Rafida Abdullah and nearly 40 others joined the protest. However, doctors at the COVID-19 quarantine centre at Maib Serdang decided to cancel the proposed walkout when threatened with police arrests. Meanwhile, Dangmongi Police Chief Muhammad Zainal Abdullah said the strike by junior contract doctors at HKL will be investigated. He said this is because no one is allowed to assemble or engage in any gathering during the movement control order without the permission of the Health Director General.
Good Morning G-Sure is the first plant-based and complete nutrition drink made in Malaysia. It is suitable for those who are lactose intolerant. Research made by local universities found that more than 90% of our Malaysian population are lactose intolerant. Lactose intolerance can cause bloated stomach and diarrhea. Good Morning G-Sure helps to improve the immune system, reduce the risk of illnesses, and helps to improve general well-being and strengthen our bodies. A happy family starts with a healthy family. I'm still active, healthy, and going strong at the age of 52. It has to be Good Morning G-Sure.
Shellfish, red meat, and beer. If you love indulging in these foods, you may end up with high uric acid level in your blood. These foods consist high level of purine, a substance that will eventually break down into uric acid and be excreted through our urine. It is recommended that the amount of dietary purines should be kept between 600 to 1000 milligrams per day. Having too much uric acid in your blood can cause attacks of gout. It can also cause kidney stones and blockage in the kidney. The crystallization of the excessive uric acid in your blood can be eased by reducing purine-rich food to only 100 to 150 milligrams daily, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and consuming urinary alkalinizer like Ural. It consists of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and sodium citrate that increases the urinary pH and solubility of uric acid to prevent crystallization. Best of all, it's lemon-flavored and sugar-free. Ural, effective urinary alkalinizer. Neutralize your uric acid problem now.
The hashtag Lawan protest against Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin will continue this weekend.
The Black Flag Lawan protest calling for the resignation of Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin looks set to happen. In a statement, protest organizer Secretariat Solidarity Rakyat said they remain unfazed by alleged police intimidation through probes launched following their Black Flag convoy last Saturday. They also called on Malaysians to join the protest at Dataran Merdeka on July 31st at 11 a.m. The group said with the cumulative cases having reached 1 million, it shows that Muhyiddin's administration is no longer relevant to lead Malaysia out of the COVID-19 pandemic. Their two other demands included a full reopening of Parliament as well as a full loan moratorium for all Malaysians.
Speaking of Muhyiddin, the Prime Minister tried to make peace in Parliament today, offering an olive branch to opposition lawmakers. But is it too little too late?
Stand with the government to fight COVID-19. That was Muhyiddin Yassin's plea to the opposition as Parliament sat for the first time in several months.
Memang benar kerajaan ini tidak sempurna. Tetapi apa yang benar ialah kerajaan hari ini tidak berpeluk tubuh, membiarkan rakyat menderita, malah sentiasa bergerak dan bertindak. Kerajaan tebuk atap menyelamatkan nyawa dan kehidupan rakyat. Yang penting kita mesti bersolidariti dalam menghadapi zaman yang sukar ini. Dan usahlah kita berbalah dan menuding jari.
Muhyiddin said this in his briefing at the Dewan Rakyat on the National Recovery Plan. Malaysia today reported 14,516 new COVID-19 cases.
Marilah kita berganding bahu mencari berkat dan meraih jaya pada setiap usaha sama kita. Bulat air kena pembentong, bulat kita kena muafakat. Bersatu kita teguh dan bercerai kita roboh.
The Prime Minister's speech came after an hour-long criticism by opposition lawmakers who called for him to resign. Muhyiddin appeared expressionless and calm.
While the Prime Minister called on the opposition to work together, Syed Saddiq questioned the work he was doing for the people who voted for him.
Pago MP Muhyiddin Yassin may be the Prime Minister, but the people who voted for him are depending on their neighbouring MPs for assistance, according to Muar lawmaker Syed Saddiq.
Perdana Menteri dalam ucapannya memetik, we're not going to let the people suffer. Sejujurnya saya rasa dia jarang turun padang dan sebab itu dia tidak tahu masalah sebenar di peringkat akar umbi. Tidak perlu tengok di peringkat nasional, di kawasan parlimen dia sendiri di Pagoh, ramai yang sanggup datang ke pusat khidmat Parlimen Muar untuk minta tablet, laptop dan food basket. Saya tidak takut untuk kongsikan list nama kerana list nama itu ada.
In his earlier speech, Muhyiddin had urged the opposition to stand in solidarity with the government in combating the COVID-19 crisis. Pago is about half an hour's drive away from Muar.
Jelas menunjukkan selepas 7 bulan darurat diisytiharkan, pintu demokrasi ditutup, kes meningkat, lebih ramai yang meninggal, situasi ekonomi lebih teruk, darurat jelas gagal.
That's a wrap for Kini News this evening. For more stories, go to kinitv.com. Don't forget you can follow us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook to get the latest headlines. If you would like to support the independent media, do also consider a subscription to malaysiakini.com. If you're heading out, don't forget your mask and when you can, please try to stay home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching and as always, stay safe Malaysia.